Thanks for joining us here at the Amplified Network. Your show will begin in just a few minutes, but first I want to go on ahead and shout out to our awesome sponsors. First, we have the Mouse Merch Box. It is an official Disney subscription box. It is $60 quarterly if you subscribe, or $70 per box. It's going to come with $120 to $150 worth of exclusive Disney apparel and merchandise, so definitely check that out. If you do decide that you want to check them out, we do have a coupon code for you. Coupon code is going to be Springs20 for 20% off of your order. Next, we have the Great Adventure Supply Company. Great Adventure Supply Company is really cool. They have a bunch of 80s and 90s themed pop culture themed Disney and theme park apparel. So if you're like me, you miss the 90s, you love that style. They recently released some new exciting additions to their store. Be sure to check them out. And we also have a coupon code for the Great Adventure Supply Company that's going to be Magic15 for 15% off of your order. So thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you and our sponsors. So stay tuned here on the Amplified Network. Your show will be coming up soon.
We're good.
All right.
Hey,
Hi.
we're back. Vance is here.
Yee.
Finally, where you been at?
Yee.
work.
Today would be nice. We're off to a great start here.
Hey, listen, it's been a week. Leave me alone.
A whole week that you left all these wonderful people hanging.
Well, bills have to be paid. Money has to be made.
Who are you telling?
Exactly.
All right, so let's just jump into it with our first major. Would you call this a disappointment? Well, we're gonna go right into World Seeker.
A little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I really don't have much on the topic. Like, I feel like they promote their games very average with One Piece, and then when they drop, there's just no buzz. And then I'll scroll past like a stream of thumbnails on YouTube,
Yeah.
and even the title won't even be like, "This is the greatest game ever." It'll just be like, they all say the same thing: One Piece. Insert game title here, review, which already lets me know like this is average. And then you look in the thumbnail, they don't look entertained. I haven't played a One Piece game since Grand Battle, and that was with the 4Kids dub. And I think the
Jesus.
last good game they had was there was Grand Battle, Grand Adventure, and a third one on the Wii, and that's when they used the Funimation dub cast, and they had like Chris Sabat and everybody. But you had the updated team of like, I think Frankie and Brooke was finally done, and those guys were there.
They were in Grand Battle too?
They were in the Wii, the third port, the Wii version.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Yeah, I haven't played any of the One Piece games. I've watched them, but I've seen same thing you were saying about World Seeker. The best thing I've seen so far was that a YouTuber put World Seeker isn't that bad. So I'm just like, yeesh. I mean, my problem with the game is it's just it has a lot of potential, but they kind of just robbed us when they were like, "Oh, you only get to play with Luffy." And it's just like, I want Zoro, I want Sanji, I want Brooke. So why Frankie? Why am I only being limited to just Luffy and just other mechanics? Like it has like very good potential if they just like took their time with it a little bit more. Like the whole dodging system, I wasn't a big fan of. I was just like, it's just basically a dash. I'm just like, that's
Burning Blood, like same. I mean, we'll get into Jump Force maybe, but like same thing with Burning Blood. It had the potential to be like the Ninja Storm of the One Piece franchise, and almost with so many characters. You have what, like 800 episodes worth of characters, 900 chapters worth of content, and you put in like the weird drag queen who trained Sanji was a playable character, but all the other ones were like, I think.
But what's it called?
I forget his name, but like
Ivanko, something like that.
Ivanko is one of the first people you play as when you start the game.
Yeah, but to me, he's hilarious. Deathwing is always going to be my favorite thing.
I need to catch up as far as like how far back I am with the dub and the stuff I haven't watched yet. So I need to see the whole saving. I need to see how they get Brooke on board. I need to see Ace's death and the whole time
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, we have the button now in post editing, but I need to watch all that dub just so I get the vast of context of that content. But everyone said, first off, you keep kicking off the dub actors who would help you with your English fan base.
To be honest, all their English dub just sucks.
There was an attempt.
If you're not watching it in Japanese,
there's an attempt. And honestly, as a fan of the series, nobody wants to fight and read. I have those friends who are like, oh yeah, dubs are trash. I'm like, then why do you watch the show? Like, you hate I love one of my homeboys to death, but he's like critical of Naruto. He's like, the dub is trash, the sub is better, the writing's also trash, and the fight scenes are trash. I'm like, then why do you watch?
Oh my god.
Like at this point, he's like, yeah, all the shipping is trash. I'm like, he has literally said in multiple interviews, I'm here for action. I get very cringy and awkward about writing about relationships. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm blanking on his name right now. Kishimoto?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kishimoto's wife, I think, was like his first and only love. So he says writing about love and stuff in his work makes him feel weird. So
that's why we got Sakura and Sasuke then. That's because I just
kind of feel bad. Kaden kind of got robbed on that one. You like go with this dude after he stabs you. This girl stalks you across the planet, decides to basically like get his kids while you're not looking, and you give birth. You help give it the birth, and keep the umbilical cord. That's the
Oh
only
my
keepsake.
god.
Also, the fact that her and Naruto and Nagato are technically cousins, and we just never addressed that.
Yeah, no, I felt we were robbed of that because I was just like, so wait, we're never gonna talk about this?
Oh yeah, she's of the Uzumaki clan. That's all.
Yeah, that was it. And then Naruto didn't even say anything about that either.
Like I would just like
not even to Nagato.
I would just like it to be thrown in like, hey, thanks, cousin. Like that one little
Yeah.
dedication to his Saiyan blood at the end of Dragon Ball Super Broly. It's like, by the way, call me Kakarot. I need just one line of acknowledging, hey, we're like related, and I don't know anything about my family. We should probably look into this someday.
Exactly. So dang, that was a good point. They never did like mention that at all because I was like, oh shoot, Nagato's Uzumaki, and then Karen. And the thing with Karin,
Karin.
There you go. She used his mom's jutsu at one point in the show. Like,
So that's hereditary, meaning Naruto could probably do it.
I wouldn't put it past it, but
I mean, it's a possibility. Who knows? But yeah, the fact that she did that after getting like brutally stabbed.
well,
it was-
technically he does use it, like the way he uses the Nine Tails chakra to like make those multiple hands. So it's just not in chains form, to be
It's
honest.
weird that he uses the chakra the way he does, but in the movie, The Last, which is not even The Last, he did it in The Last, which makes sense because the two Kurumas joined back into him off camera, and then Road to Ninja, which is technically canon, he gets to use the full-on Nine Tails, like is riding it and everything, and then it just goes back in him, and that was the only plot hole people had. It's like he literally came out to fight in opposite evil Nine Tails from Naruto, or from evil whatever the dude's name was, Menma, who was basically not Naruto from that universe. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna go back inside to this prison I hate you for now. Bye.
There you go.
But yeah, you see how much we cared about One Piece, the game. It's I'm not
really
gonna
not.
say it's bad. It's subpar. It didn't wow people. Once again, I couldn't tell you where they dropped the ball. I can just tell you that they did.
Not giving us the rest of the crew.
That too.
Terrible.
Like in Adventure World Red, you got to level up and take like different crew members on different missions, and that's what made it fun.
Exactly. So it's just like
So
the
much
way that they
fun.
did
Apparently,
this-
no one cared that when they're like new One Piece game.
Because the way I feel like they're gonna do it, they're just gonna be like DLC,
Yeah.
Zoro, Nami, Sanji.
I felt tripped out when I was watching them reveal Adventure World Red for PS4. I'm like, in the comments, this will be great. This is gonna be awesome. I'm like, did nobody see this game was on 3DS like 6 months ago?
Nah.
And this is why people are pulling out of E3.
Yep. All right.
Next up, Attack on Titan,
Attack on
dropping on
Shit.
the same as Game
No,
of
it's not.
Thrones.
It's not.
It's not.
Attack on Titan.
Has Game of Thrones already started?
It's on the 14th.
And this is the final season.
Yes.
People are gonna be having whole watch parties for this.
Yeah, damn right.
Maybe I'll pick it up when the show's over. I didn't know it costs like $1.5 million per episode to make.
I'm not surprised at the amount of money, the amount of animation and stuff they put in there, but see, that just shows you how bad Attack on Shit is.
I don't even think it's bad for what for how bad it got interpreted in the manga. Not even interpreted, for how bad. Let's say how dragged on this subject material was in the manga versus what they're doing in the anime. I like that a lot better. The fact that we have the Beast Titan, the fact that we're splitting it up and getting through like Kenny was a badass in the manga. I like that we got through Kenny like that. Kenny, after a while, was just like, and the humans are fighting again. And the humans are fighting again. And the humans are okay, like this is Attack on Titan. This has become like Attack on Titan Civil War.
Yeah.
And it legit went like that for like a good 2 years because you only get one chapter a month. So the whole restoring the Rice restoring the right people to the throne, the fact that the real king isn't the real king, and that this person is this person, spoiler warning.
I need you to know you're speaking gibberish because I still don't watch this shit.
Basically, out of nowhere, they found out that when they got put into the walls, some part of humanity got erased. It's like Nico Robin when she found out about the 100-year gap in One Piece, that the reason she's being hunted. They basically found out there's been like something wrong with the timeline. They realized before we built these walls, I think we were all just living willy-nilly. What happened? So they realized there's like 3 families. I think it's Aaron's bloodline, Mikasa's bloodline, and the royal bloodline. Somebody, I think the first Titan ever had a power to erase people's memories and alter them. So time was basically they built the walls out of Titans who were basically able to build, have like a hardening ability. Then they erased all of civilizations. They erased all of civilization's memories and implanted like 100 years ago, hey, we have the walls. Titans are outside. They've been eating us for centuries, and no one questioned it.
Mm-hmm.
The people who weren't affected by this were all basically killed off or hidden. Come to find out, one of the girls who's hidden is actually the heir to the throne. The dude who's the king is literally like, what is a good compare?
This show has so much going on, and I'm already lost interest.
Basically, the king in Attack on Titan is like Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Okay, see,
He's literally
that's all you
a
had to say.
prop for what the actual bad guy is.
That's all you had to say.
So then they
still not
find
gonna watch
they
it.
find the actual heir to the throne, and it's a girl, and her friend actually turns out to be a Titan. And they find her, and they're like, "Why didn't you say anything?" It's like, "Well, my dad decided to wait until my mom's throat got slit to decide, hey, maybe we should let her live." And that is
why I call it Attack on Shit.
I mean, this arc technically is because you find out, hey, she's the heir to the throne, and there's literally just humans with guns now taking out our team, and you don't even get back into the Titan stuff until this whole Civil War issue's figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get into it, you find out the dark side of what Titans really are and where they come from, and Reiner and Bertolt, who, if you haven't seen their character reveal, or if you don't care at all, they basically
and to everybody out there, it's probably not shit.
Spoiler,
it's just not my cup of tea.
yeah.
Guys.
Spoiler warning. So the whole Titans that kicked off everything and started all the shit. That's my S-bomb for today. I'll get to my F-bomb later. The two Titans that kicked it off turned out to be living with him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Time skip. They go back to across the ocean, which they didn't even know exists in their entire civilization. And now Reiner is technically has PTSD because his people are being told across the ocean, monsters, savages. They did nothing but try to kill us, and now we inject people with Titan juice, send them over the ocean to just go keep. It's literally what it is. They inject them with this Titan fluid, and then they send them across the ocean, and people are just like, and now these people are blank memory slots, so they're just like, we don't know where they come from. We don't know why they eat us. They literally eat till they're full and then vomit us out and then start over. So then Reiner's now conflicted because everyone's like, you're a hero, Reiner. You survived. And he's like, those people did nothing but were nice to me. What the hell happened over here? So the part I stopped reading and stopped watching, there's some disconnect between whatever happened to split civilization between these two continents and pit these people against each other.
Okay.
And
I don't care.
And now there's apparently a beast titan who's like a giant monkey, and he somehow knows.
See, I just feel like someone just pulled that out of their butt. Like, oh, we have nothing else.
I believe I didn't read it, but I watched a couple manga readers. Apparently, Titans were like a form of an ancient contract with Satan that someone made, and that was like, I need to read and watch the show and see if that actually gets said, because that's the biggest ass pull for me. Like, that is a bigger ass pull than some people feel Ultra Instinct is.
The whole show sounds like an ass pull.
I like the fact that the anime is doing seasons now. That way we don't get 1,000 damn filler episodes like we did with Naruto and One Piece. And
yeah, they've been pretty much better about that. I'm happy about that.
I can appreciate seasons, because that way you don't get writers and directors and mangakas being literally physically burned out, which is why we don't get Hunter x Hunter anymore.
No, they just dropped a couple chapters.
He drops a couple every now and then, but literally writing chapters and working on the manga makes him physically ill, and that's why he takes so many breaks.
There was him and the girl that does Gangsta's manga too. She gets horribly ill too. That's why we're in a hiatus, and we don't talk about.
Everyone's like, oh, we get hiatuses, and then people are like, this is the only show I've seen where people are like, I'll accept the hiatus if I'll take whatever we get chapter wise, because he literally will come back and do a chapter, and they're like, yeah, we found him passed out and slumped over in the studio again.
Jesus.
Like the Oda for One Piece, they said he's gotten so physically drained. He has drawn characters in actual panels, but then drawn the wrong head on the wrong body.
Wow.
Because he'll just go from and if you look at their studios, it is as big as this room. Like when they did the 700th chapter of Naruto, they had some famous Japanese pop singer who always wanted to meet Kishimoto.
Mm.
She walks in the studio. It's maybe, if not twice as big, the size of this room. Like where she's at, big-ass Frieza statue for inspiration. Other than that, just a little desk like this, a chair where he sits crisscross and just draws straight. His other writers over there, animators over there, and they literally just work out of this room until they freaking drop.
Wow.
And that is like the condition of manga writers over there.
That is not cool.
So I don't know if these shonen. I feel like there's a dark side of Shonen Jump we don't know about with their deadlines and stuff. Like I don't know if they're all just in there held captive.
I mean, yeah. I mean, trying to make it weekly.
Especially, I mean, if you had a proper team of people, you cycled through properly, gave them enough rest, and on top of like the thousands of other commercials and stuff they got to approve and get voiced over in TV shows and like on top of all that, if you gave them some way to properly handle that or a team for it, probably would get way better production.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Kishimoto's fatigue added to the fact that he properly couldn't kill Madara, and then wrote himself into a corner, which some people didn't like the way he got killed off. They felt it was an ass pull. I was like, okay, I'll take it, a technicality, because this would have just gone on forever.
Yeah, I mean, technically,
I would have taken 10 straight episodes of Madara throwing hands, just not.
He was throwing those hands. He was just,
and he was not getting tired anytime soon. And I would have taken 50 episodes worth of it. But
he was the neighborhood dope dealer. He was
the
slanging whip.
He was Debo. He was literally just like, these are my Jinchuriki punk.
Like, you gonna get some. You gonna get some. You gonna get some.
What Bishu?
This man was blind too. Like he had no eyeballs, nothing. He's just feeling everything out through like nature energy. And I'm just like, are you even human, bro?
God, what Shukaku? Oh, yeah, what Shukaku? The hell y'all talking about?
Oh God.
But yeah, there was that whole thing going on, and I feel like those guys need to be taken better care of because Bleach was on a roll, and then out of nowhere,
another show I don't watch.
It got canceled. Honestly, the filler arc before Bleach's final arc felt more entertaining than the final arc did, and the final arc never even got animated. They ended on a full bring arc. Basically, Ichigo is technically like a hybrid human. He's bred. His dad's a Soul Reaper. Mom is human, but Mom is also a Quincy. Mom is also a
Quincy.
Quincy's Uryu, the guy who shoots the arrows.
You mean the girl?
No, Uryu is a dude, but
The
his
one with the
power,
glasses?
yeah.
Okay.
His mom is technically a Quincy. Mom is also a human Quincy who got bit and infected with the hollow. So
okay.
Ichigo is technically a hybrid of like all these supernatural abilities, and Chad, the guy with his like the fist power, his whole arm will turn like black and red, and he has like the weird. He kind of looks like an offset of Jugo, the one black character in the show.
I don't watch the show. I know there's a black girl that turns into a cat.
No relation there, but basically there was this full arc called the Fullbring arc. Ichigo basically loses his powers, and they're like, hey, if you have latent human abilities, or you're a human with these spiritual powers, we're technically not supposed to exist. But you can awaken a special type of power called a Fullbring. And the Fullbring powers were all kind of weird. And it just felt like a very odd arc to end on. And the show literally was just like, hey, Shonen Jump has stopped all animation on this. Just because. The manga will continue. The manga was taking off. Like, it was one of those mangas that set up for everyone's return. And characters who you thought maybe they're dead, maybe they're not. Like, it's like what Avengers is about to do. Some characters we don't know their fates. They're probably going to come in and have some heroic, epic moment. He was in the middle of planning that, like in the middle of these fights, he's setting up these 1v1s or these 2v1s or whatever. Overnight, hey, we've got till March to finish this. So, like out of nowhere, he seemed surprised.
But see, the thing with Bleach for me, it was just like I could never really get into like watching the show for the story or like try to follow everything. I just watched it for the fights. Because
I literally walked in on the Byakuya and Ichigo fight, and that's what pulled me. When Hollow Ichigo took over for the first time, that had me gripped.
What is it? Grimmjow versus Ichigo. What was that Hollow guy? The one that says Seto Escuchas? The green one. The one with the green
Ukiura.
Yeah, him. And that one little fight scene with Ichigo and Hiyori, that is like really one of like the best.
That's what got me into Bleach. I kept seeing those scenes of like Ichigo trying to control his hollow powers and losing it in Japan.
Yeah, that was cool.
So that whole hollow arc was great. Then you have, I'm trying to think what even comes out. Yeah, that arc was great. The filler arc that came after actually sets up for the final arc that never got animated. What I told you about how every Zanpakuto is basically their Bankai is technically a spirit.
It's still speaking gibberish to me, but okay.
Basically, when they're...
You can tell me after the show, because I'm not going to remember. I'm probably not going to remember after the show either.
I'm trying to think what other manga or what show would it be like. Soul Eater. Have you ever watched Soul Eater?
No, but I am putting that on my list. It looks great.
Basically, their sidekicks in the show is their weapon. the weapons in Bleach are inside the sword. So like, if you see the main character and the guy she's with, he is technically her weapon, and when they fight, he transforms into her scythe. Same thing with Bleach, but they literally live inside their blades and transform when called upon. So this filler character was like, what if I gave all of your powers their own like sense of life and urgency? And that was basically, they all had to basically find a way to reconnect with their abilities and be like, hey, I'm not just using you as like a power to defeat my enemies. You're a part of me. Technically, it's spoilers, but it's spoilers if I gave you each fight and what each character revealed about themselves.
Okay.
But in the final arc, they literally took some of these filler designs and used them for the final arc. Because some people awakened powers they didn't have, some people discovered powers they didn't have, and it shows each of them talking to their swords, basically.
Talking to a sword, Jesus.
I mean, the spirit inside the blade, inside their Zanpakuto.
No, I got you.
So the filler arc actually gave more, but things, you go from that filler arc, which a lot of character development, because Ichigo has Hollow powers, Quincy powers, and Soul Reaper powers. When they took out the Soul Reaper, the Hollow took over 100% like it never has before, and it was honestly a badass design and
like
fight
I said,
scene.
That Hollow Ichigo was pretty good for me. Like
Now
just
imagine,
watching the fights,
Ichigo is just 100% Hollow. Like there's no other half in there to take over.
Is this the same one that I saw with the horns and everything when he was fighting that one guy you mentioned earlier?
No, this is Ichigo. That's him with all those powers still inside in a human form. This is if Ichigo just became a full-blown Hollow, but still held his sword, like tail and everything, and just went completely batshit.
Oh, you're talking about the bigger Hollow one, right? The buff one?
Semi-buff one, yeah. He basically becomes that because his Soul Reaper power gets ripped out. Now there's nothing left but the Hollow to take over, and it was like one of the best filler fights I've seen in all of anime.
No, if it was that skinny one where he was just...
No, the skinny one was badass. The skinny one is a result of Hollow taking over with all those other powers still being there to like
that
siphon.
Was great. I love that. I was just like, I would pick up this show just to see this like all the time.
That what tripped me out
and
is
that
like I thought
scream in English dub, great.
I thought the fight was gonna go on forever. When Ukiura was like, when he blasted him like a third time.
Blasted him.
Pause. When he let out the Gran Cerro and like took off 3 of his limbs and he's regenerating, and he just like sat down and is like, yeah, this fight's over. And I was like disappointed. It's like, and then Orihime is like, I can help. It's like, no, you can't. I'm regenerating my limbs, but all of my organs are gone. Like this dude finished me off like 5 minutes ago. I've been done.
Yeah, you finish him off.
So is that? I don't have time for this, Sarah. But that was like one of the better fights for me. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Crunchyroll and Toonami. How do we feel about this whole partnership?
I am so excited.
If this is going to be like what
that.
Funimation and Verve had, where they got the simuldubs, and I can now go to Crunchyroll and see the episodes drop maybe 1 week apart, if not the same week, that is great.
The content that is going to be on there now, so it's not going to just be like generic anime anymore. Hopefully, I hope that's what this means. Like,
I'm hoping all those anime that got pulled from Verve go straight over here, because I will definitely give Crunchyroll my money finally.
I definitely would too. Like I tune into Toonami. Like first off, I still love Toonami. Toonami's my thing, but you know I have websites that I can go and watch my anime from. But I would support. I'll give them my viewer count. Just because they're partnering with Crunchyroll, that's something that we desperately need.
That is a big move for Toonami, probably like the biggest one they've ever made.
Biggest,
because a partnership like that keeps them afloat for a while, keeps the programs floating for a while, lets people know that hey, you have a special partnership now through us, where if you miss it on Toonami, you can catch the sub and or dub live right after, especially if it goes live right after they broadcast.
Yep. And then they just have access to more shows, so we can start watching things like, I don't know if they have Mob Psycho 100 on there yet.
I think Mob is getting to the lineup. I think because season 2 just dropped in the sub. I think the dub is on its way.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Mob, and then what else? What other good anime is there? I mean, Erase, which we'll get into later. That was a nice show for me. Is Rising of a Shield Hero on Toonami or anything?
I honestly haven't looked at Toonami's lineup in years because I don't have cable. Netflix and Hulu, honestly, if those people have partnerships with those two companies, usually it's on there. Like ABC has a partnership. I think Fox has a partnership. So I literally catch like Bob's Burgers, This Is Us, Blackish, Grownish. I catch all those shows like the day after.
Okay.
So I'm that guy on Twitter who's tweeting like 12 hours too late.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. I think this is a very good move for anime.
You get Dragon Ball Super, because if this includes the catalog as well as shows, like if this includes the lineup as well as shows that aren't airing but they have rights to, so you get Dragon Ball Super, you get Inuyasha, the final arc, Cowboy Bebop, I think Big O,
Yep.
One Piece, which stopped airing on Toonami, but I think they still have licenses for Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, Boruto, which I think the English dub is only like 20 weeks in.
We don't care about the English dub.
We didn't care much about Boruto until this episode.
Well, the manga is great. Manga is just boxing everywhere. Everybody's just trying to get some. So I mean, I don't know why they went the route that they
I think it's because of how strong that first episode starts off. Like that leads
starts the same way in
the
manga.
Yeah, I'm saying though, but to start off that strong, and then for like 30 episodes, it's like they're playing around with bubbles and stuff. From what I see,
like their
like
concept of world
I've
building
seen
was
this
pretty
side
bad.
by side where it's like Boruto episode 36, and they're like playing with bubbles. Naruto episode 36, and Sasuke was literally cracking dude's arm in the force of death.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we expect big things from the Crunchyroll Toonami. Hopefully, it isn't
I think
just
it's
like
I hope this. Hopefully, this gets it back to like where it was on like every day. Like I remember coming home from school and watching it at 4, and then later on at night, like it'll
that's
still
because
come back
I mean
on.
they had a more kid friendly. Dragon Ball Z was like the controversial one.
Yeah, but now that they have more anime to like offer on Crunchyroll, like there's so many more like.
I would take a
kid-friendly anime to
nightly.
watch.
I would take like a nightly midnight to like 2 a.m. block if they did something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean kids don't stay up that late anymore. Maybe like if
'Cause
they can get it to like
I
8
think
o'clock.
Adult Swim starts at like 8 now, and even on like they've pushed it back like they've pushed it back. Adult Swim starts like 8 o'clock. It used to start at like 11, then they pushed it to 10, then 9:30, and then I think when I started college in like 2014, they pushed it to 8, and it would start off light. Like they would start with like King of the like hour start of King of the Hill to like slow the ball in, then maybe some Bob's Burgers.
Maybe they realized that adults go to bed earlier than kids do.
Possibly. It was just
then they should just do like a whole thing that just leads up into it. Then just
I mean, they do. Like, they have, like, the little bumpers. Like, when they had the Cartoon City, they would have the cartoons be, like...
Cartoon what?
Remember when it was, like... When Hanna-Barbera, I think, was doing bumpers for everybody, all the cartoons that were on, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Codename Kids Next Door, they all had these tiny little minute, like, commercial-long skits between the shows.
Oh, yeah.
So those you would see parts where like they're all turning out lights and all going to bed, and that lets you know as a kid, Adult Swim is coming on, time to turn off. And then when they lost the rights to that, and it just became the ugly.
That was lit though. I remember they used to do the same thing to Toonami. Yeah,
and
now
it became the ugly
me.
little like white blobs or whatever.
Yeah.
And they would throw paint, and the blobs would become the face of the character.
Yep.
The blob would literally show up and like wave by and pull the screen to black and be like, Adult Swim. Kids gotta go.
Nah.
In reality, though, that's when the kids want to tune in. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I stayed up late, and that's how I discovered Family Guy and Futurama.
That was hilarious.
Futurama is the most underrated show.
I like it. I just hated that like Comedy Central didn't do anything with it for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like they got the license in 06. They ran a marathon for like a month, a whole weekend straight on Adult Swim. And they're like, we're saying goodbye to Futurama. 2011 is when they finally came out with the new season because they did like 2 spin-off movies.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2 or 3?
It was Bender. There was I forget what the second one was, and the first one. Actually, there was a first one, and then what is it?
The one was Bender's Game.
Bender's
'Cause I know
Game,
that
and then
they-
there was Bender's Big Break. I think was the second one.
Was it?
Whichever one ended with them going through a portal, being like, "Hey, a new beginning." And then the first episode of that new season was, "We went through some weird channel. It's a Comedy
Yeah.
Central type of channel now." And we're like, "Ha ha, took you bastards long enough." And then
because I remember the movies.
apparently there was crossover episodes too with The Simpsons.
Were there?
Because I remember looking up, like in the early days of the internet when YouTube wasn't a thing. There's a clip of Homer, Bart, and Bender driving together, and he's like, "Fry, you look different, but I still love you just the same."
You know, that sounds like something that happened.
And it's something like you probably glossed over as a kid, but I can never find the episode.
Huh.
My new goal in life is to find that episode.
For real.
I literally look up cartoon like my favorite crossover I think is the Grim Adventures of the Kids Next Door.
Grim Adventures of the Kids.
When
Next
Mandy
Door.
literally takes over the K&D and number 1 gets stuck at Billy's crib for like the entire day, and she legit takes over the K&D overnight, and they have like an Ed, Edd n Eddy cameo goes in there, which Ed, Edd n Eddy was my favorite show of all time. So the fact that that's like how they started the show off, is Billy gets in trouble, and then they're like, I know who to call. And then they go to the cul-de-sac, And as it goes off with Eddie, he's like, I don't do charity. Call Kids Next Door. And that's how the show starts.
Jesus.
And then you see like all the cartoons that were in the like Cartoon Network block at the time, like Squirrel Boy and Dexter's Laboratory.
Squirrel Boy.
They all have like
Secret Squirrel or
no. I mean, he was in there too, but literally all the property. They had something recently called the Cartoon Network Nexus. It was Teen Titans Go, Steven Universe, and OKKO, which apparently I need to watch because there's just anime and manga homages in there everywhere.
Yeah, Steven Universe has some Vegeto's outfit for
Yeah.
Stevani. Sorry, guys, spoilers, but
Gohan's outfit for Battle Mode Connie. The whole story is basically the same with like Jasper being like Vegeta.
no, that's high key. That is Vegeta. That is Vegeta in female form.
Yeah, but there's a lot of homage. So they basically Battle Nexus or whatever it was called, the OKKO crossover was like the modern day version. It's like if someone came in and they took the same Cartoon City I mentioned before,
Mhm.
and someone was like erasing all the cartoon characters. So you just saw silhouettes of like all your favorite cartoons. So there was like Adventure Time, Secret Squirrel, Two Stupid Dogs, I Am Weasel, Class of 3000, I think got in there. Ben 10, Generator Rex. If it was in Cartoon Network at one point, you saw it there. All right, we're rambling. We'll jump topics. You had a whole thing about Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, so
Boxing anime, by the way. Not to be confused with Megalobox.
which is another good boxing anime, might I add?
It's on my list.
You should watch it. I liked it. It was something to pass the time. It's only one season, so it shouldn't take you very long.
Okay.
But back to Hajime no Ippo, that is the boxing anime. And for anybody getting into it, I'm going to warn you now, there is a lot of graphic changes throughout the show. So from season 1 is a very old school style. Season 2, newer style. And then 3, I think, is the same as season 2, or it's like a little bit of update graphics. But right now, from what the author is saying for the manga, he's saying like they're not even like halfway through with any, like with the whole story.
How long has the story been going on?
Jesus, like probably like 2000. And
Yeah, I just found out JoJo's is like 20 years old and still like serialized and getting chapters.
yeah, it's about like it's been going on since like 2000 or a little bit earlier. And what's it called? It's still going on now. What's it? We're in we're on like 1028 in the mangas right now. I just read the newest chapter today. Good stuff. You guys need to pick it up, or we need to sign a petition to get that show back on the air. Like get it
Which
animated
show?
again. Hajime no Ippo.
I never saw Hajime. Was it ever on Toonami?
No, that's hopefully
I
Crunchyroll
never-
brings that.
I never saw Hajime. I just saw like clips of it, and I'm like, this looks dope. And
You know
I've
what?
seen,
Next week I will. Didn't I say I was gonna do another show? I felt like I said I was gonna do another. I was gonna say do Sword Art, but you know what? Next week I will do Hajime no Ippo as a recommendation. I'll pull the best clips from that show to make sure that people get into it, because it's really a good anime. Like if you really like boxing, if you like the concept of it, it's very like basic and fundamental, and it adds that anime twist to it where everything is just over exaggerated like by 1,000. So a simple uppercut is just edited and designed with like a gust of wind going up, and then you just see like the clenching of the teeth, like hitting.
Yeah, the clip I saw where spoiler warning, I don't even know what fight this was, where he basically had to like sense the dude's punch coming to dodge because both his eyes were black shut. And he literally knocks the dude out, but doesn't know the dude is beaten because he literally has been beaten blind, and he's literally just swinging until his like trainer has like.
I need you to stop right there, because that is a very powerful moment in the episode right there. It was really great.
Who is it? There's two accounts. There's Titans of Anime and there's Shonen Cloud on Instagram, and they just upload like the dopest moments from all shows, and I'm like, I need to go check this out.
That was a sick
Shonen
moment.
Cloud had that. I'm like, he is still going. I need to go and sit and watch whatever. Like I've been sleeping on sports animes because I think Toonami died when they started broadcasting Mare, which Martian Awakens Romance. I couldn't tell you what it's about. It was interesting enough. And then Toonami got dropped. And Prince of Tennis. And
I need to watch that too. I feel like
there was another anime. It was like Shoguko no Go or something with a kid. He was basically like a master chess player. I forget what it was called.
That might be kind of
It was called
right there.
Show Something Go. I remember I don't remember the full name. It was like this weird sports lineup Toonami had, and it was like doing great. And then they had that final broadcast like, hey guys, Toonami's gone. Thanks for everything. See you later. Until the April Fool's thing happened when on my graduation year. We were like, please bring it back. I think what was hype about that is that they literally redid the they played the unedited version of Gohan finishing off Perfect Cell a week after Nicktoons did it, because they had Kai but they had Z, and everyone was like, thank you, because Nicktoons edit was ass. Also, we're tired of hearing the new person who plays Kid Goku. Or not Kid Goku, who plays Gohan, which, no disrespect to the person who plays Luffy, but I liked having that actor as Gohan, which
Yo, the person that the voice acts Luffy too can catch these hands, because they just, what are you doing?
It's not that it's bad. It's just that they
It
were
is
also
bad.
they were
Don't
also
sugarcoat
playing
it.
all the Dragon
You know
Ball
it's
Z
bad.
movies.
You know
and
it's
then
bad.
Gohan. So you literally play an episode where Gohan is voiced by Luffy. Then you play all the DBZ movies where Gohan has Kid Goku's voice. So now,
Because that was the best voice. I don't even
I'm saying
understand
they never redid the movies.
They don't need to, because that's the best voice that goes with it.
All the more reason they should have left that voice slot alone. Is what I'm saying.
Exactly. But back to Hajime no Ippo really quick. That fight, if anybody wants to look it up on YouTube, is Takamura Momori versus David Golden Eagle. So just to check that out.
All right, so Moose, since we're talking about Dragon Ball, what was this you were telling me about Xenoverse and their servers? And are people still on Xenoverse too heavy like that?
Yeah, I'm on Xenoverse heavy like that.
Like, I feel like for me, it's like if you got friends on there to do the parallel quest with, yeah. I don't have a lot of people I know playing Xenoverse right now. Everyone's on Fortnite and Apex and Call of Duty.
No, there's lots of people in the Xenoverse community.
No, I'm saying there's lots of people, but most of my friend lists consist of first-person shooter players.
See, yeah, that's just a different crowd. But for the Xenoverse community, right now we have a new server coming up. Well, it's already out by now. Actually, it is out. It's New Canton City, and we're just basically moving from the old server to the new server. And what this means is you guys have to make the move over to the new server, because we're not doing any more events on there. We're just doing like on the old server. On the old server, it's just there. That's all it is. They're not doing anything special. Not doing any more events. They're not doing like no special boss raids or anything like that. It's just there for like the normal player that doesn't want to buy online.
What do boss raids consist of for Xenoverse players?
Fighting Merge Zamasu, Demigra, Mira. If you don't have the game, these are going to sound Spanish to you, but it's
what do you like? What is the reward from these besides like experience?
Experience. You can get Fuse Zamasu clothes, special clothes that they're promoting at the time and stuff like that.
Right.
So, it's a lot of cool things. And then if you log in between now and April 20th, I want to say it is, you get 500 TP medals. And if anybody who knows how much those TP medals matter, you're going to want those TP medals. So definitely hurry up and get those. But yeah, so basically on the old server, there's no more events or anything like that, but we will be holding the new tournaments and the boss raids and everything like that on the new server. So, and I believe that's like where they're gonna start doing like all like the new DLC. Like that's just our prelude to the new DLC that's coming back out. So yeah. So I know you have some news on another Dragon Ball related game.
Fighters on the season pass that we have, which it's not even really like a secret anymore. We have like we're down to like what what did they give us 6 or 8 characters for the season?
8.
And I think we have 7 if Broly and...
Oh, wait, 6. My bad. Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Hold on. So there is
Broly,
Gogeta,
Jiren,
Videl.
And then GT Goku and whoever is the last spot.
And that's if... I may be the only person looking at it like this. That's if Goku or Gogeta and Broly aren't like their own special offset thing that you get on top of the season but aren't like the characters that are added. Because remember... It's the way they showed it in the promo art. They showed those two up front like they're their own special thing you get with the pass, but not taking up those 2 character slots. So we're either getting 6 or 8. I'm hoping it's 8, but
right now it's 6. For season 2, it's probably going to be 6, and then for the next season, probably 8 to like take it home.
And we get GT Goku in kid form.
Ha! You guys. Let me just start off by saying. You guys got robbed. That was just robbery at its pure finest.
He's like a third of the roster.
No.
The fact that we paid,
you guys
the
do
fact that
mine.
we pay. First off, I didn't pay. I don't have the season pass.
No.
But the fact that we are now paying in 2019 to play as base form Goku and Vegeta.
No, that was robbery too. But no, you guys got robbed with GT Goku like that. It's not even Super Saiyan 4, like the best Goku out of that whole entire series. You guys got Kid Goku, the Goku that accidentally got wished back into a kid by Pilaf. Spoiler warnings if you haven't watched GT.
That could be your Dragon Ball character if they got a season pass.
Say it again?
The Pilaf machine.
At this point, they probably do it to y'all.
I wouldn't be mad. I can't even think of anyone out of that whole saga who I'd even want at this point.
Literally, at this point, they shouldn't have did you guys. Like I said, they completely robbed you guys with Kid Goku. They should have gave you Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Majub, Super Baby Vegeta.
If we get Majub, I'd be offended at Majub.
Whoa! What's going on here?
That whole like writing Majin Buu out of the show, which might happen now. That didn't feel necessary. Like, hey, you're like a reincarnation. Let's fuse. You could have literally just gave him like a piece of the thousand.
You know that wasn't going to be enough to take on Baby Vegeta for as long as he did.
And it still wasn't.
It wasn't, but he lasted a lot longer. If you gave him a piece, like, okay, here's a little piece of gum.
And then that was my only gripe with that arc. It took Vegeta out for the entire arc.
But I like
and made him the villain.
But to be honest, who doesn't like an evil Vegeta? Like, you cannot say you did not love
It's the thing
Majin Vegeta.
that's the thing. We got it after we got Majin Vegeta. We got that arc, and then we go into GT. Then we go.
But it wasn't Vegeta. Vegeta had no control of his body. That was it was a good concept.
If his secret move isn't going Super Saiyan 4, they will just.
But see, that's my thing. That's a waste of
write.
time. Like I was telling you earlier, if they give him his next level 3, if it's a Super Saiyan 4 transformation, you guys basically just copied and pasted Frieza with Golden Frieza.
They could introduce transformed states. Like they could update Frieza's character so that if you activate their level 3, maybe you get like a certain amount of time to be in this form. That would be a nice change so people don't feel shafted.
No, because that's a waste of time. Because then you have to build it up all over again just to go golden again.
Some people have no problem getting up to that level 3 from what I've seen.
But it's a waste of time for someone like me that doesn't know like combos and stuff like that. So
I don't know either. I've seen some people abuse the hell out of Bardock. Like they're legit asking for this character to be nerfed.
Well, again, that's just how good the people are. But you mean to tell me, because I already see how this is going, because when they transform Golden Frieza, his moveset stays the same. So ultimately, they're gonna, if they do Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the transformation to that, then what is it? He's gonna keep the same moveset as Kid Goku, and I've never seen Super Saiyan 4 use a power pole ride the Nimbus.
He can.
And if you're gonna be like, well, if he transformed and they change the moveset, they might as well just make him his own.
He
character.
at least gets those Super Saiyan transformations. I'll give him that much.
Nah.
Even though he can't hold 3 for more than like 5 minutes.
They just literally just took y'all for a loop. I bet you the studio was just like,
I think the insult will be if we get base form GT Vegeta with the goatee or the mustache.
Honestly, the studio that's doing it, they probably don't. They're just like, oh, he looks like a cool character. Let's do that. Who knows?
They gotta be just cherry picking at this point. Like
that's literally all it has.
My
to be.
problem is you take this last person. Most likely, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Omega Shenron.
And it's like, wait,
because Cooler was a nice addition. They might pull Turles. They could pull one of these other moves. Watch it be Bio Broly or some shit.
Nah, because they already have 2 Brolys, and they already have 2 Brolys on there. That's enough for them.
For the love of God, do not do BoJack. I feel like as far as like Xenoverse,
is BoJack really that bad?
I don't think he's that bad, but he is not good enough for me to pay for him separately as his own character.
Fair enough. But
like when I saw that as a Xenoverse DLC, I'm like,
he was free DLC though, right?
No. What? No. He was like season pass. You unlock BoJack, and I'm like, there was nothing amazing about this character when he came out. He was literally there to give Gohan his own villain because he had to have his own movie, and he was apparently trapped in King Kai's planet this whole time.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That was weird. And then
shout out to Goku just for defying the rules of life and death and just going to Superman punch somebody out.
I'm just trying to figure out what stopped him from doing that so many other times before.
Because there's obviously rules
that he breaks all the time.
Still,
they're not supposed to fly in the Tournament of Power. That got done like 30 episodes in.
It was just a very long, laggy drop.
It had to be. It must have been. The blows from their punches must have just propelled them into the air and helped each other stay up because it was. But yeah, I've seen some people on Soup. If I could find the tweet right now, I'll probably show you after. There's the guy who does Bardock's voice. Someone made like a song about nerfing Bardock's character because he can literally just combo someone to death. And they won't be able to block.
But I feel like they did nerf him. Well, I know they just came out with a patch, guys. So if someone
they might
watching
have, but before then, here it goes.
Damn, that was
So
really.
he literally took
decent,
75% of his health bar without a chance for this dude to getting a block in.
too. Jesus.
Yeah, but like we were saying, you could have done a whole GT roster, 6 characters. Either Goku, you could have done Kid Goku by himself, maybe Super Saiyan 4 transformation.
No, they should have just took
or
out.
Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, if not those two sharing a slot. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Omega Shenron. I would have taken General Rildo.
No,
That was
think-
like my least favorite villain.
it's not even I think anymore.
The
I
Bone
know
Power
they
Brothers?
robbed you guys of Kid Goku. So and just for someone to fact check me later on too. In GT, Goku didn't even use the Nimbus Cloud. Not in that whole series in GT. So the fact that they gave him the Nimbus Cloud in the game just shows that they just was just like, we don't know what we're doing.
Okay, well let's go off. Let's go back. So let's say we have Omega Shenron, Baby Vegeta, maybe the level 3s, maybe the monkey form.
No, they're not gonna do that.
They wouldn't.
No,
Nah.
that's
I'm
too
just
big.
saying if you had see, I mean it would just be for the level 3. It wouldn't be like he stays that way.
Well, but how are you gonna revert him back? Because the way he got reverted back was Super Saiyan 4 beating the hell out of him.
Of some weird transition cloud covers the screen and he goes back. It's like when they make
Nah,
Goku turn black
that's-
in the Rose.
That's an ass pull, and that's Rose's thing. So you can't just be ripping that. But
Well, you
I
can
know
have-
in like GT Final Bout for the PlayStation, just when it was just PlayStation, they had Super Baby Grade 8.
I remember that boss fight. He took up he couldn't even fit his character model on screen. It was
Nope.
ridiculous.
No,
I used to hate playing that game.
it was funny.
It was funny, but at the same time I was like, why is this a thing?
exactly. So if imagine that in Fighters, like that's just like the whole screen covered up right there.
It could
so-
be a dramatic finish.
Nah, not even close.
Really?
That's too much work for
All
them.
right, but let's hypothetically say GT got their own season. You could take Omega Shenron, Baby Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, that's 3. And then your next 3 could either be Goku, Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 sharing a slot, or make them their own separate characters.
They're gonna make them their own.
And you could
separate.
have Kid Goku by himself as actually no,
What-
make
what is
the sixth
infatuation with Kid
the
Goku?
sixth
What-
character can be Pan.
Where does Kid
The-
Goku fit into all this? Why Kid Goku?
I'm just
Please
saying
explain
because
it
he's
to
the
me.
one who started the conversation. Actually, no, make the sixth character Pan. She can be her own person.
Okay, yeah, that's better than Kid Goku because literally.
And then for a Dragon Ball season pass, Demon King Piccolo.
just give Piccolo an alternate.
You could have
outfit
Master
when his ass
Muitato
goes.
if you wanted to, who trained Grandpa Gohan and Master Roshi.
There's not enough content for him, so next.
That you could create it. This is literally world building you could do.
Next.
So,
Not happening. It's not gonna happen.
well, yeah, you're gonna have Kid Goku, Chi-Chi, maybe Tien and Yamcha, Crane School versus Turtle School sharing a
But
slot.
they're already in the game, and no.
This is Bandit Yamcha and Crane School Tien.
just
Th-
give
this,
him the costume.
This is the one who goes around breaking legs after he's won, and
Just give me alternate costumes.
he
Don't
also
take
has
up
the
more
multi-form
spaces.
technique in the 4 arms, which we haven't seen. Like,
alternate costumes with alternate
Maybe.
movesets, just like they do in Xenoverse, where they have like multiple slots for a character. When you pick on it, that changes the movesets. Just give me
Alright.
that.
well, Kid Goku, Kid Chi-Chi,
Chi-Chi, no one's gonna play with Chi-Chi. I'm so
nobody would, but I wouldn't be surprised if they throw her in there just to fill a slot. Demon King Piccolo,
sorry. Just give
Master
Piccolo that outfit.
Roshi. If not, an alternate costume could be Jackie Chan, Grandpa Gohan.
The only person on there that sounds like even like worthy of getting just the build for that game is gonna be Master Roshi.
mean, you
Gohan,
could-
I mean, yeah,
I
but
haven't watched the show in years, so I mean, you could fill Chi-Chi slot with like Ader or
no, I don't even Ader. Ader was just no.
He was like the first android. I mean, 8th, but still. I mean, you could use Ader. You could use General Tao. You could use
Nope.
General Blue.
Nope. General Blue only had that thing where he just looked at you and you just were stuck in place. That's literally Gildo from the Ginyu Force. So, rip.
He'll be the next one. He'll be the final character announced. God Lord Goldo. But yeah, so fighters, I'm gonna do what my friend said. In like 2 years, when they're done milking this game for all it's worth, and they decide to drop like the $20 Cyber Monday complete edition, like they did with Storm 3, where you could get it for $10 and just upgrade the copy you already had, I'll do that. What's next? Speaking of Dragon Ball, Kamehameha Con's around the corner.
Oh, there's been a lot of crap going on with that.
I wasn't shocked at all. Like we said, Vic Mignogna's whole drama, which isn't the focus, but sparked some of this. He hasn't said anything on Twitter in, I want to say, like 2 months. First tweet, so very grateful and happy to say that I'll be a guest at KamehaCon in Dallas, April 12th to the 14th. Special thanks to KamehaCon staff and con chair for the privilege to join you. Let's have a great show full of positivity and celebration of Dragon Ball with all the great attendees. That was on the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, I decided to cancel my appearance at KamehaCon. This is a
Jesus.
difficult decision because the last thing, girl, bye. I'm not even shocked at this. Okay, my drama last year was when they got all 3 Vegetas on board. They got Chris Sabat, the Japanese dude who does the voice, and I feel bad. I'm blanking on the name. Over 9,000. That Vegeta, Ocean Dub. Brian Drummond. They got those 3, and they're like, we'd love to do a panel together. You got Ocean Dub Goku, who's like, I'm not even going to say who, but you all figured out by this tweet. I'm basically being blocked from KamehaCon. They basically told this person who's in charge, if I get a panel, they're not coming. This
Do we
person.
have the Carfax on that? Because
I found the tweet and lost it because it was just buried.
no,
in the
I need to hear it out of like the person's mouth. I need a video that says like this is what happened. Because
No, this is a tweet from the VA of Goku, and if you search back like a year ago around this time, he was saying, this person has blocked me from other cons. This
no, that's
person-
what I'm saying. Like I need the Carfax from like I besides him, like I need someone else to like chime in on that because so far he sounds like the only Goku that's been complaining about that.
I mean, apparently, if he doesn't like Team 4-Star even doing parodies, then that means maybe he does have a little bit of gripes. And the fact that they've busted him and Chris Sabat telling other people, like, if you support so-and-so, we're just making sure you don't get an invite to this convention. Or if you come to this convention and start talking that ish about supporting you-know-who, I'm making sure you don't work at any other conventions or you won't be here next year.
I don't know because I know Chris Sabat was with Team 4-Star. He's done an episode with
He's
them.
with Team 4-Star, but I'm talking about as far as, like, the issue with people pulling out now because Vic's going to be there.
That was
And now people are being told, like, hey, I was also told by Chris, by Sean, by this person, if I go to KamehaCon and I don't pull out when they pull out, they're not taking me anywhere else. Or if I go to KamehaCon after saying, and I don't denounce Vic, or if I'm seen with Vic, they're going to start messing with my money now.
That's too much. That doesn't make any sense.
So the fact that people are getting on Chris Sabat about this now, I'm like, it just doesn't stop.
Listen, just
Like I had to look up to see. Okay, here's your Carfax. Glassdoor is like the snitch of all workplaces across America. Funimation has like a 2.5 out of 5, but all their things are like locked, so you got to pay to see them. But the fact that I'm seeing like the headlines are like, wouldn't recommend, kind of childish, was there for 5 years, had to get out, and I'm like, what is happening behind closed doors? Where people, apparently it's like just a big. From what I'm reading, it's like all the nerds who got picked on gathered and formed their own like coalition of we're top dogs around here. But the fact that she posted, I was like, it's going to be either within the day or within the week she's going to drop out. And I'm not shocked because then people are commenting like, you have nothing to be afraid of. I'm like, there might be some over the top fans standing in line waiting to do something
emotional. Someone
to do something stupid,
an asshole, and ask questions, and she's right there, and he's like 5 booths down.
That's it. Are they going to be like in the same area? They're going to be in the same booths.
And then, well, obviously, because all the Dragon Ball people have to be there.
And then the fact that Super is coming back in July, jumping topics here. If we do the Broly arc, I'm excited for the fact that we now will get a performance where the 2 characters against each other actually hate each other, and that will just make it that much better.
But Broly and Bulma wouldn't even have any dialogue. Like, what would be the purpose of them?
I mean,
even
not
seeing each
Broly
other?
and Bulma, but Broly and Goku actually have a literal beef in real life. So the people doing the voices, the characters who don't like each other are now being voiced by 2 people who actually do not get along. And you know there's just going to be an extra sense of aggression and like hatred in their tone of voice during those fight scenes. And it's going to be better for everybody.
I wouldn't say that Broly doesn't like Goku right now. He just doesn't know him.
I mean, this version of Broly, yes, but when he goes into that berserker mode,
but they're gonna train him to get that over with, and all he does is grunt anyway. So I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to throw some lines in there, and even Funimation's like, yeah, keep that. Like we're keeping these lines.
Well, I love how they see. I would love to see how they do that.
Because if they really are feeding drama, I wouldn't be surprised if some shade is thrown in the acting and they keep it in both. And then when they're both watching live, they'll be like, "This son of a bitch." And then next episode, because they can record from home, they don't have to be. God forbid you put them in a booth together; it'll just be great.
Yeah, could be. All right, what we got next?
All right, we can wrap it up with Community Day.
All right, go ahead.
Which
I
you
did not
apparently
get to
didn't
enjoy it.
participate in. You sad. Okay, this is me. I didn't know some people like hoarded lucky eggs and incense just for Community Day. Because I had some people who legit popped like 8. And like, oh yeah, I collected
Yeah.
these from all missions and all my level ups. I don't use anything until Community Day comes around.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
I had like 2. I'm just now finding out people do raids for shinies. I'm just now finding out people store this for Community Day and don't use pineapple berries at all.
Yeah, so guys, the best way to do this, the best way that I read and I saw how to do this and experimented, is that you keep all of your incense and you keep all of your your incense, your lore modules, your lucky eggs, your stardust
Incubators.
incubators, and everything for Community Day. Because when that happens, they already give you like a times 2 multiplier on like experience and other things like that. So you're just adding on to that. And then if you don't already know the little hack with completing your research task, any Pokemon that's on there, you could literally like give them like a berry or something like that, and then run away. And then it'll put it there for you to come back to later and catch it. So that way you can just stock up on a whole bunch of Pokemon. If you're in an area that doesn't get Pokemon, you can just go there and just be like, up, I'm going to catch you, up, I'm going to catch you, up, I'm going to catch you. And you get your double experience and your double
Yeah, I had like
Stardust that way.
I've been low on pineapple berries since I got my Meltan box. Speaking of, shout out to the kid who was out there like running up to people hustling Meltan box trades for $2 a pop or Gen 1 legendary if you traded him.
$2.
He was just like, he was walking up to people. I thought he was trying to be friendly and like be involved in part of the community just for Community Day. He's like, hey, you guys got a Meltan box? You guys got a Meltan box? Who needs a trade? I thought he was just giving out trades. I was like, hey man, I got a box. All right, but it's like $2 a pop for a trade, or I'll trade you for a Gen 1 start. I was like, I'm good. He just went right back. I was like, I respect the hustle, but this game will not get any money out of me, which I was tripping on because at first the Tricos weren't popping up, and I was already burning my first lucky egg and incense. And I'm like, because when you walk in Crane's Roost, the little water areas, the pillars, nothing. The little grass areas, Tricos everywhere.
At least you guys got Tricos. I got a shiny Chikorita. So that just lets you know how my Community Day went.
Shiny Chikorita looks like a dying plant.
It is a dying plant. It's a burnt leaf, bro.
I feel weird about Shiny Sceptile, though. I wish I would have kept Trico's same, like, design with the tail.
I actually like the blue, but
I
that's
like
just
the
me speaking
blue, but I wish I
bias.
would have, like, switched it up, because it looks like it's just a slap of blue. It's like when you're
the
doing...
same colors as like Totodile.
Yeah.
Huh.
But even Totodile
Really
had some, like,
looks like
variety
that.
to his design. It looks like one of those projects you do, like, in one of those old CD-ROMs where you're painting, and if you just, like...
Flashbacks.
Yeah, and if you just press the same color on every little slot, and then you add like 2 little things in the eyes just to change it, kind of what they did with Sceptile. Which, by the way, if you haven't figured out yet, this is all pre-recorded. Vance has adult problems, so we had to reschedule. But
Sorry,
I wanted to wait for Amp to get here, so we'll post the photo later. But below me will be his Sceptile, which she'll edit in later. The lovely lady in the corner. And then under it will be my Sceptile. And I will say this now for when he watches it later. Bow before your God.
Wait, what?
Because remember he tried to brag with this, and then I ended up getting mine later on.
Oh God. Oh God. Wow.
Insert evil.
That
laugh
is
here.
some CP right there, boy.
Apparently IVs are the important. So like my weakest shiny my weakest Sceptile is my best one, which apparently
Yeah, IVs are just hard. Like even trying to play like the Pokemon games, like I never really
apparently
understood
instants
them.
and lucky eggs give you a better chance for IVs because all my good ones were like 80 and above. Which
Yes.
I'll give you a shiny later, which mostly gets crappy CP, but they all reroll when you trade. So
I
we'll
need
find out.
someone from the goddamn team for Pokemon Go to just up the chances for a Ditto. That's all really I need.
Oh,
Catch-
I
we
caught
keep telling
one
you, catch
on
everything.
Shut up,
Community Day
shut
and
up,
took
shut
a
up,
screenshot
shut up,
just for you.
Shut up. Shut up. You guys are all evil.
And then, you know what I did after that?
You
I transferred it to a farm upstate.
look
She
at
sent
that.
it to the ranch with all PewDiePie's 9-year-olds.
Oh God.
To the ranch.
It's not fair. I don't understand. I've literally been catching everything too.
Yeah, I did a good 8 laps of Crane's Roost. I sat down afterwards. My legs were low-key burning and still kind of are. Like, I put on shorts, like an athletic T-shirt, and I was like, let's just do the darn thing. Okay, where did you get that? I finally got my Alolan Marowak. I finally got him because I was there.
Regular Marowak is better, so
I'm
just
sure it
saying.
is. Did I show you the one I caught?
No.
Oh, here's mine. I literally caught it because I walked by as the egg popped, and I'm like, no one's here. Did another lap, 15 minutes left. Like 12 people, and I'm like, this will be easy. And he legit dodged the first 10 balls. I was down to my last 3, and I'm like, if I don't get this after wanting to hunt it down for months, I would just throw my crap in Lake Eola or whatever in the Altamont Pond. Let's go to recents.
Oh my God, Pokemon galore.
Man, this house is low-key becoming a hotspot. What'd you guys do?
Y'all need to get a Pokestop
I
here.
just play a lot
Yeah,
of
it's not.
Pokemon.
It's 12.
Dude, if I could have a Pokestop,
It's
at my
12:56. It is not the greatest, but I've been literally chasing this thing for months, and I'll take it. It knows Hex and Bone Club, which are ass moves, I know, but I like
You
it.
can always just change it.
Yeah. No one. I hope Giratina comes soon because the raid bosses right now, no one wants to do them anymore. Nobody, like everyone has Dialga. Palkia is gone. Everyone's just like.
I didn't have Dialga until Community Day.
Oh, but when I go into like the Discords, everyone's just like sick of Dialga. Can we get something else? Like people are now meeting up to do like
What's wrong with Dialga? Dialga is like lit.
it's been around for so long, and remember all the other raids. There's been multiple ones. There's been Latias and Latios, Rayquazas, Palkias. Every tier 5 right now is Dialga. So when I go in like the Discord, people are like, you guys want to do Dialga raid? We all have like 6. No, we'll just wait for Giratina. Although I did get some EX raid passes from finishing my last mission before Meltan. Now I need 2 Lileeps or Anorith and 2 Ammonites or Kabutos, and the missions to do them are impossible to find.
But
All right, well we'll wrap it up here.
you don't want to try to do like a quick anime recommendation?
I was gonna say we can wrap it up with recommendations.
All right, let's do that.
You want to go start with yours?
Of course. So, the show that I'm going to be recommending to you guys today is a show called Erased. It is a very interesting show to me. I liked it. If anybody likes murder mysteries or likes to try to figure out who's the killer by the end of the anime, this is definitely something for you guys to watch. We have a special clip. I have 2 clips in there. We're only going to use one. I showed you the clips earlier.
Yeah.
Which one do you think was the best one?
I think that first one was good because it was a real plot twist. Like it starts off real
chill and
then just like
okay. So
you kind of throw in the thick. The second clip was also kind of like it's also a good one, but it's like it seems like it's in the middle of like a whole scene. Like the dude's already walking with what looks like police officers, and then he has that weird like
moment.
That's so Raven type moment, and then it just like cuts off.
Okay, so definitely we're going to show you guys that one scene now. Just to give you like a quick idea of this show. Erased is I'm trying to look for the main character's name because me and my names are horrible. It's Satoru. There you go. So the show follows a 29-year-old manga artist, Satoru, who has a unique ability where called Revival. And what it does is just like minutes before like an accident happens or something tragic happens, he sees it like acts out, and then he can like go back like a couple minutes beforehand and try to prevent it. So we follow him to a point where he is caught up in some mess where he's being blamed for a murder, and his skill Revival is sending him back 18 years back into the future to help him find out who the actual killer is. And this same killer abducted one of his classmates and murdered the classmate. So it's gonna all tie in together. So if you really do like mystery shows, or you just like or like secret dinners where it's just like mystery dinners, that's what it's called. Like where they like you guys all sit down and you guys
like
try to figure out who's the killer.
Who done it and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you guys like stuff like that, this is the show for you. And it's just plot twist. There's some good plot twists. There's a good bit of feels. And anybody that's watched Blue Exorcist, the same studio that animated that does this show. So if you guys like the animation style for that, that is definitely something for you guys to check out. All right, what you got, my friend?
All right, because this is a club and we're trying to be more welcoming, I'll go a little bit more mainstream. So, are we really Samurai Jack is like American anime or no? Yeah or nay?
American anime.
Because it was made over here. Like, it's American writers, American owners, Japanese style type editing.
Yeah. So I guess that's what it falls into American anime.
I mean, IGPX is technically an American anime, and that was like dope. That was
I like that show.
And now that legit was like a Toonami product. Like that was made in-house, voiced in-house, created in-house, and the video game is impossible to find anywhere. I've tried. Like
for one, I didn't know it was made here, so no wonder why I couldn't find it on my anime side.
Yeah, like if you go, like when you listen to it,
I couldn't find it.
Remember the dude doing the announcing for the commercials and in the show is Tom from Toonami. So you're here next time on IGPX, And then even inside the show, when they're doing their little, when they're inside the show, and the show is like on the next episode, the voice doing on the next episode of IGPX is still Tom from Toonami. And then you go to the actual commercial. Then you go to the commercials, and it's like, hey guys, that was IGPX, and I'm like, you were just here.
Wow.
And it was good. They had a good story. They wrapped it up in like 3 seasons. Team Satomi was like god tier. You could there was like a race against the Rocket. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, Gendy Tartakovsky, the person who created Samurai Jack. For those of you who don't know him, because I'm wearing the shirt, good intro anime kind of for people who are more mainstream. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. For those of you who don't know, there was a 2003 series to like 2005. This is, I think, the first like 11-minute show that Cartoon Network ever had, and it was animated in like the same style as Samurai Jack. I like the new Clone Wars show, but this one was way more violent. Like when they got hit with lightsabers, like the clone, like the first time you meet Asajj Ventress, the bald-headed pale chick who is like stalking Anakin in the 3D show. First time you meet her, she's like cold-blooded. Like they find her in like this weird fighting ring, just taking out people left and right. So they hire her to like take out Anakin. He starts with like a squad of 50 troopers, and you watch her like drag each one out one by one. And I'm talking like decapitations, crushed helmets, stabbed through the chest, slashed across, rope around the neck, hit with a weird log in the middle of the forest. And then their whole battle, like their 1v1 is so dark. Like you need Anakin to get the win, but it starts off so like dark and vicious and ends the same way. And she survives. That's all I'll say. I won't say how she gets killed off, but the fact that they brought her back for the spoiler. The fact that they brought her back for the new show was like a big middle finger to everyone who watched the old show, because they just brought her back with no visible like when they brought back Darth Maul when they brought him back and he was like a robot man. Okay, you got cut in half. She, spoiler alert, fell off a cliff. Like not like
Gamora thing then.
Imagine Gamora times 3. Like it's dark in the pit, you can't even see the bottom. She got thrown down there and then just appears. Like apparently there's books now that make them canon, but one of my favorite fight scenes, and this is what got me back into Star Wars. If you've ever seen General Grievous before he got his whole lungs crushed by Mace Windu, which is technically how he got his whole cough and everything, this man was fighting like. She has the clip. She can play it underneath at any point while we're talking. This man is fighting 6 Jedi with his feet. Like, you can't ignore how cold this man was before he got paralyzed. And the fact that this never got animated into the CGI movie or the 3D film, like that to me was like one of the dopest fights of my childhood. And the fact he doesn't have force powers, the fact that he can outrun the force.
Lit.
So this whole fight, there's like 6 Jedi. They're surrounded by like an army of like 10,000 droids. He literally calls off the droids. It was like, I'm doing this myself. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. It just torments these dudes for like a whole episode. Ki-Adi-Mundi and I think, I forget her name. The lady who had like
These names are just
I forget his name. Ki-Adi-Mundi was one. The lady with like the 2 tentacle, wrapping it up. I forget their names. There's 2 important Jedi who are in here. One of them was a boss in Force Unleashed. They are like the only survivors out of this whole thing. The other ones get slaughtered, and this is like the start of his whole Jedi purge. I'm collecting lightsabers, and he legit. The show ends like the whole season. The whole series is maybe like 4 hours long. Each season is like 2 hours. You could sit and watch it in one night, and the series ends where episode 3 starts off, where they kidnap the Chancellor. Grievous is now the leader of like this fleet. He has the cough because he literally got his lungs force crushed by Mace Windu. Of course, Samuel Jackson had to end it with his badassery. And the animation, the story, the fact that you have, first of all, lightsabers as a weapon, I feel like we never see proper violence used with them. Mm-hmm. This show doesn't hold back. Even the clone troopers aren't just fodder to get killed off like the 2006 or whatever year the new one came out. Excited to see the new season. Hope it's like semi-more adult-themed. But this one didn't hold anything back. More violence, the story built, and the show was only 11 minutes long. Like one of the first episodes, you have the clone troopers actually being badass. They're not just getting murked. Like they legit are no words spoken. They're legit just talking in hand signals against this army of droids. And they legit get this mission completed with like almost no casualties. They legit just dominate for like 11 minutes straight, and it's just this beautiful, fluid show. And then you carry on to like this other arc with Anakin off planet doing these other weird things. Everyone else has their own little arcs in there. You bring Grievous in at season 2. And again, this man is so powerful. They get on this, the elevators in Star Wars and they move like this.
Mm-hmm.
They legit ditch him in an elevator thinking we got away. This man on some like Naruto run is legit like the Kevin Hart joke. His body is running this way. His head is looking at them and like, when we get out of this elevator, I'm going to fuck all of you up. And that is my F-bomb for the day.
I would just like to add, I did not use an F-bomb this whole entire show.
And I am so proud of you.
I would just like
even
to
though,
add.
Even though this
I
is
would
being
just love to
pre-recorded and we
add
could
that.
literally bleep you, we won't even need it. You know how great that is?
That is great. I
So-
did not even use one.
See,
Ha.
just like anime, we
How
have character
great is
development here.
Huh?
Would you say it's fucking awesome?
Oh, God.
Would you say it for a Scooby snack? Speaking of Star Wars, by the way, for my Xbox people, Games with Gold, Battlefront 2, the one that doesn't suck. I don't know if the online servers are still up. April 1st to the 15th, if you have Xbox Live and you don't want to put in a credit card, literally put it in, download for free, and delete it like I do. But Battlefront 2 is free for like the first half of April. Do not miss out. They've been giving out some bomb-ass Star Wars games that I slept on as a child. This one, picked up at like middle school, Republic Commando, which honestly deserves a 3D remake or like a remaster, if not its own movie.
I'm a PlayStation kid, so what you're saying is gibberish.
I was a PlayStation kid too. I picked up Battlefront 2 like 5 years after it dropped. Republic Commando is like a squad of 4 elite clones, and it ends with like a super cliffhanger for a sequel that I still haven't even got to. I just read about it, and they never finished it. And everyone is like, if you're ever going to remake a Star Wars game, do this one.
Republic Commando.
It's honestly for like an original Xbox game. It holds its own. Like I'm playing through it right now, and I'm like, this is dope. But yeah, we're going on tangent, so we'll wrap it up. So programming schedule, we're gonna stick to Wednesdays as far as Anime Club. We got a pre-record for you guys.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Vance. If we got a pre-record, you guys will get a show on Wednesday. Damn it. So Monday, 8 p.m. Dungeon Seekers. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Anime Club. We'll try to be live more often. Thursday, 7 p.m. If I can quote Amp here, the Two Top Podcast. Then 8 p.m. Springs Chat. All right. We've already paid our bills. We don't have sponsors today, although I think do we already do them? We have bills. We've already been paid. Anime Club, we are out.
Yay!
Do I? Yes. Did I forget? Two Top Podcast. Oh, yeah, Springs Chat, 8 o'clock. My bad. Sorry, guys. Wait, that's what I got. I got those 4 on here. Oh, whoops. I literally have been looking
So
at this.
Tuesday, we have a brand new show called The Theater Goers, hosted by Tony and Sham. So, Sham.
How did you?
Sham. Shazam. Sam.
Movies to watch later. Duck season, rabbit season.
But, Wabbit season, duck season.
Tuesday. Continue.
So-
Tuesday, new show. I didn't.
The theater goers talk will be about new movies that come out in theaters. Check them out as they go to every new. Jesus, they must have money then, or that Movie Pass.
Is
thing, do
Movie
they?
Pass still valid if you have it before
Yeah.
it got canceled?
Wait, it got canceled?
I think it got
We'll
discontinued.
talk about that after the show.
Yeah.
Oh, they go to one new movie each week. So okay, so they save some type of money because
So I shall save my review for us and leave it with them, which I'm gonna go see tomorrow or Thursday most likely.
literally, I'm not going to any movie theater unless it's for Avengers Endgame. So
Stay off Twitter then, because they just did the movie posters for Avengers.
I was just telling you earlier, I blocked
and
everything.
some people are
towards
looking
that.
like, "Whoa, I forgot about these characters even existing," and I'm like, "So did I." But we'll save that for the theater goers. They are our new
bye.
show, Anime Club. This time for real, we are out.
Yee.